Okay, we'll get there then. Oh, she got it. Oh, she's wiggling. She's wiggling.
Ah!
She's wiggling. She cannot reach it.
I got it! I'm gonna die.
Okay, can you do it? Oh.
I'm shaking.
Oh. Ooh.
Woo!
Victory.
Ah!
How are you feeling right now?
I'm almost there.
Are you tired?
Yeah, I'm gonna spread a marathon.
Ooh. Oh, she's gonna fall.
You good?
Is you good or no?
Gotta fix my shirt.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we're
Okay.
good.
Let's go.
Woo!
Ooh. Got this. You got this. Oh.
Woo!
What do you feel right now?
Oh.
She's gonna win. Oh.
I got it! I did it. My hands hurt now.
Yeah, so
Let's see if I
Breezy
can
won.
counter. I win.
And so we're just doing one of the many activities that you can do here at the Dragonfly Forest Camp.
I'm going down. Okay, so Dragonfly Forest was the place that we did Saving for Shaving, where those proceeds went to.
Exactly. It was a really cool cause, and like we said that before, but now we're here, and it is really cool.
It's so much fun. Like, I want to come here.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
Can we have a field trip here?
A field trip here, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we have an interview with the president, Fred Wiener, of Dragonfly Forest Camp. So let's go check that out.
And we also have some video, hopefully,
Yeah.
that relates to it, because obviously, like, it's springtime now, and the campers come in the summer, so we have some video footage from before.
All right, I'm gonna go head back this way. You guys go check out that interview.
Okay. Hi everyone, I'm Ben Detweiler, and I'm joined today with Fred Wiener, who is the president of Dragonfly Forest. So to start off, what is autism?
So autism is a neurological disorder that some kids are born with or develop as they get older, and it impairs the way in which they process information. It may be the way that they hear things, the way they see things, and and basically it also creates social problems for them as they continue to get older.
Okay. And are there different stages of autism?
Not that I'm aware of, and I would not claim to be the autism expert. So, but as far as I know, there's not different stages like that you develop it and then it gets more severe. People go through different aspects of having autism, as I understand, and particularly they are learning to deal with it. So, and how to live their life having autism. So sometimes people say they're cured. It's not necessarily that they're cured of having autism. It's that they're actually learned to live with it and found techniques to be able to get around dealing with it.
Okay. And how has Dragonfly Forest played a role in helping kids with autism?
So Dragonfly Forest, let me take a step back. Dragonfly Forest is a camp for kids with autism. We also work with kids with other medical needs as well. And what Dragonfly Forest does is it enables kids to just have fun. And so many of kids with autism are put into these programs where, and this is true of school and even other types of social programs after school, where it's always, I'm going to train you on different skills. I'm going to help you with these techniques so that you can live a productive life living with autism. What Dragonfly attempts to do is say, you know what, we all need to have some fun in our lives. And so what we're trying to do is give these kids a chance to just kind of let their hair down, have a load of fun, be like everyone else. And what ends up happening is during those times, the kids tend to learn a lot, which we were really surprised by when we originally built this program. The idea was originally all about recreation, and what ended up happening was kids would go home and the parents would call us and say, what did you do to my child? Like all of a sudden this is like amazing butterfly has come out of their shell. And so we went back and really started to explore what it was that was going on, and what we found was that there's an old Chinese proverb that says that when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Well, our campers are our students in a certain way, and they'll be interacting and trying to have fun with other campers and just trying to enjoy themselves, and maybe they don't have that skill yet or haven't built that skill or practiced it. And so all of a sudden, we're there to help kind of hold their hand and get them through that process, and they're absorbing what we're teaching them at that moment. And so it's kind of teaching the moment. And as we do that, that enables them to learn, and they tend to absorb that learning much more than, say, reading it from a book or being drilled on it in a classroom.
Okay, and what type of activities do you do with some of the kids?
So it looks like, if you come here, it looks like any type of traditional camp that you would go to. This happens to be a residential program, so they actually live here overnight for a couple of days. And it is a program where they kind of can go through and do things like high and low ropes. They can do swimming. They can do sports and recreation. They can do arts and crafts. They can do music. They can explore nature. It's all the things you'd expect to find in a traditional summer camp environment. It's just we modify those programs to make it so that they're adaptable for these kids.
What are some ways that you adapt some of the programs?
So a lot of it has to do with scheduling and communication with kids with autism. For kids with autism, they tend to process things more visually than necessarily in a written format. So we tend to have a lot of written schedules that they'll have so that they'll tell them what's coming next. They know what to expect, what's coming next in terms of the schedule, and they know kind of what the week is going to look like, and it's very predictable for them. And that's important because then they can kind of work within those parameters. For some of the other programs, it may be that we explain things a little bit more clearly. Maybe when we're explaining how to do something on the zip line or something like that, that we're not just explaining to it verbally, but we're actually demonstrating at the same time, so that when they look at what's going on and they can process what they're seeing and understand it. And then you have to give them time, and you have to kind of shut up and just be quiet, which is really tough for people to do, especially me. And and give them time to just kind of absorb that information.
Okay. And what are some ways that kids can raise awareness for autism if they don't already know about it?
So the things that people can do is to get the word out. Go and realize that kids with autism are not these kind of pariahs that are out there that you can't communicate, you can't have fun with them, you can't include them in different activities. The more that we include these kids, the more that we realize they're just like us. There's something different about them. And I have to say that pretty much for each one of us that are quote unquote normal kids or normal adults, there's something different about all of us too. So, so we just have to embrace what those differences are. And then we have to adapt for that. And usually it's not, adapting in some huge way. It's a minor thing where we're able to adjust an activity, you're able to adjust an activity, and then you can raise awareness in your community. I mean, you can also go do walks, participate in fundraising things to help, build programs for these kids. But the best thing you do is just include them in what you're already doing.
Okay, and do you happen to know how many kids are affected by autism?
So I know they just changed the numbers. I believe it's 1 in about 65, something like that, kids in general, and 1 in 42, I think it was, something like that for males. Definitely males are affected by autism significantly more than females are.
Okay, and why did you choose to open up this camp?
So we opened up this camp to give back. The chairman of the board at the time, she's now on our board but no longer chairperson, had MS. And so she was out skiing with her family and out west, and she was getting her son all ready to go skiing. And at this point, she had gone from being able to walk to using a walker to now being in a wheelchair. And the ski instructor said to her, "Well, are you going up skiing?" And she looked at like, "I'm in a wheelchair. Are you crazy?" And the ski instructor, "Oh, well, you've never heard of our adaptive ski program." And within an hour, they had her all suited up in this thing called a bi-ski, and up on the top of the mountain. And she gets up to the top of the mountain and she looks out at the amazing vistas that they have out west. And she's like, "I feel normal like everyone else. This is what I used to feel like when I went skiing, when I was able to do it." And she decided at that point that she wanted to find a way to give kids that opportunity that were not feeling normal like everyone else, to have this kind of normalcy back in their life. And that's where the idea of Dragonfly Forest came from.
Okay, and why is it important to raise awareness for autism?
So I think the reason that it's important to raise awareness is that, again, these kids are, especially after school, after they turn 18, seem to kind of disappear from our community. And we need to understand that, that they can be very productive members of society. my past background before doing camp-related stuff had to do with IT related. And we found that working with adults with autism and kids with autism in helping us with quality assurance and testing software and things like that was amazing. They had a knack for finding things because they were very detail-oriented. And so that was a perfect job for them. So the more that we raise awareness, the more that we find a way to fit them into society, that just like the rest of us fit into society, it's important, and it makes it better for everyone. And these people can then live a happy, very happy and productive life.
Okay. And how can someone either volunteer or get in touch with you about becoming a camper?
So the best way to find out about coming to camp is to go to our website, which is www.dragonflyforest.org. You can go and sign up there online to become a camper, or become a volunteer, or become a counselor. We're pretty full for this summer, but we always have room for a couple more volunteers here and there, especially day volunteers. And we usually start the registration process for campers and also for counselors around January 1st of every year. So definitely for 2015, just go to the website. That's the best place. And you can follow us on social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all the places you'd expect to find, anybody these days.
Okay. And is there anything else you'd like to add?
One of the big things I like to tell people is that kids with autism, kids with medical needs, they're hearing the word no a lot. And they, you can think about it. Last time that you got sick and you went to the doctor and the doctor told you what you could and couldn't do, they were, your parents or whoever it is were like, no, you're not allowed to do this. You have to do this instead. And that's what these kids are constantly hearing. They're constantly hearing no. And what Dragonfly is all about is a chance to let them hear yes for once in their life. And we work really hard to try to say yes a lot here at camp. And so that's really what camp's all about.
Okay. Well, thanks for being here with me today.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
All right. I'm Ben Detweiler, and I just talked with Fred Weiner, who is the president of Dragonfly Forest. Now back to the Eagle's Eye.